What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Nate. Today's topic is going to be something that I believe a lot of you guys need to hear. I've had several comments about this, and I'm going to be real. It's something that needs to be talked about. So we're going to jump in, guys. We're going to attack what needs to be attacked, right? We're going to get real with this, and that is the issue of pornography addiction, right? How you can battle this, how you can overcome this, and really how you can recognize what it is and what it's doing to you, right? Had a comment the other day. There was someone who was pretty young, actually. They left a comment saying, they struggle with pornography addiction and, they're working out, they're doing what they need to do, but they're still having a hard time with overcoming this addiction, right? And man, I feel for you. I do, all right? Because I was probably 11 years old when I actually first started to watch porn, right? That's when I was exposed to it, found it online, right? And, the crazy thing was, I remember thinking how gross it was, right? How disgusted I was by it. Like, I knew it was wrong, like, to watch it and stuff, right? I knew it was wrong, but there was something fascinating about it that drew me back to it later on. And I'm going to be real with you guys. When you're that young, things like that, that's not good, man. Just like people who start drugs or alcohol when they're young, it definitely does something to you, man. You can be free from these things. It's just going to be tough, right? And most guys, they don't wait till they're 21 to watch porn, right? It's an issue. It's a big issue. A lot of men are facing this. Guys, married men who have millions of dollars, beautiful wives, cars, the house, great social lives, right? Everybody, seems to be addicted to porn, right? Most men seem to be addicted to porn. I'm going to be real with you. And if they're not, a lot of men will downplay it. I'm going to be straight up with you. A lot of men downplay it. They're like, it's not a big deal, right? Yeah, it's every now and again. It is what it is. I love my wife. Yeah, it is, something I want to get rid of. And especially if you're young, right? Let's say you don't have the ability to get married and you're just like, man, what do I do? Guys, I want to give you some hope. First of all, I want to tell you that, look, the problem isn't you, okay? The problem isn't you, right? You're not screwed up. You're not messed up. But there are some things that once you watch this video, you'll be able to recognize and you'll be able to apply to your life. And maybe you'll see some things that are true. And maybe you'll see that if you change the way you think, the way that you approach things, that it's going to help you out. And so, guys, what I want to talk about today is a few things. So we're going to jump into the problem of porn, right? The problem with porn is it's an artificial stimulus at the end of the day, right? It is an artificial stimulus. It's an artificial replacement for something that all humans crave. And today, especially with technology and technology getting more advanced, we seem to be downplaying this, right? From a societal standpoint, we're downplaying a lot of issues with pornography because it's so common. We assume that it's normal, but it's anything but, right? People 100 years ago did not have near the access that we do to pornography, right? If you wanted pornography, you would either have to A, draw it, B, go someplace that people were actually doing it, getting it on, and you would watch them, right? And, well, that's really about it, right? Until cameras and videos started to come out, right? Even when those started to come out, you usually had to go to certain places, go to certain adult film stores or adult theaters and things like that. But it's become so widespread, right? You can literally access it in a matter of seconds on your phone. Also, the way that society is becoming, it's becoming a lot more sexualized with time. I remember thinking back to when I was, a teenager, right? 15 years old. And just how different things have changed in just about a dozen years, how sexualized we become. You cannot scroll through Instagram, YouTube Reels, Shorts, all these things without coming across sexualized content. And guys, what's happening is, because we've set the bar so high when it comes to sexual depictions, right? Pornography, sexual scenes in movies, hypersexualization of women, even men, right? And we'll get into that here as well. We've taken this to a extreme extent, right? And what's happening is we become desensitized to its severity. Really, once it comes down to it, we become desensitized to how much of an issue it's really becoming. And it's kind of like cigarettes, guys. The best way I know how to describe it, because I've been hooked on cigarettes in the past, right? Cigarettes is one of those things where you can quit cigarettes, but part of your, call it psychology, call it whatever you want, right? Part of you will always crave it, right? Years later, you'll still have dreams about smoking a cigarette. Sometimes you'll just crave a cigarette for no reason. Porn is very similar, right? Porn gives you an extreme amount of dopamine. It gives you a false sense of intimacy, right? I want to talk about this as well. It gives you a false sense of being connected to a woman, right? Because let's be real, guys. As men, the reason I said that those urges are normal is because as men, we want to be with a beautiful woman. We want to have children. We want to have a family. That's the way that we're wired, all right? The problem with porn, and when I say porn, guys, I want you to know that even softcore porn, right, even Instagram and things like that, the problem with porn is that there's so many triggers now, right? It's not like a smoker or a drinker where you're walking around and people are smoking and drinking everywhere around you. Porn is subtle. Porn is the exploitation of sex. That's the way I view it, right? Videos, images, people getting paid for it and all that stuff. I don't believe that it's healthy in any sense, right? I think people will downplay it, but look at the issues it's caused. Look at the issues it's caused to the male psyche. Almost every single guy I know wishes he could stop porn. And the crazy thing is they sound like addicts, right? And I've been here, don't get me wrong, but you'll justify it. You'll bounce back and forth. Oh, it's not that bad. I really need it. I really want it. It's not that bad. Then you'll feel super ashamed and guilty. And then it's this cycle, right? You're literally addicted to it. It is made to get you hooked, like cigarettes, right? It is made to get you hooked. And eventually what they want you to do, guys, because everything boils down to money, right? They want you to pay for subscriptions to certain sites. They want you to pay for content, right? And then once you can't get that fix, they want you to pay for more or higher tiers of things, right? It all comes back to exploitation. That's why I hate it, right? You listen to the stories of people who have been in the pornography industry, men and women. A lot of men end up getting into homosexual scenes, right? A lot of the men are bi in porn because it starts to desensitize you. A lot of these men who start out straight, they end up having to do or end up wanting to do homosexual scenes, bisexual scenes, things like that, right? Let's be real. A lot of these men end up on a lot of different, basically drugs so that they can perform, right? Whether that's ED medications like Viagra, Cialis, other things, in straight up injections, right? There's also a lot of like cocaine and meth use as well. It damages your psyche, right? And this is your job. You're just like, it's all a movie, guys. It's all played. Like it's all to make a profit. It's all to make something, right? It's not real, right? So guys end up killing themselves, right? Women who stay in. You got to realize, guys, a lot of women, they do porn once or twice and they're out. There's a lot of women who will try to do a porn movie or a porn scene and they can't handle it. And then sometimes women will stay around a little bit longer. Some will do it for a few months, maybe a couple years, maybe a few years. Very few make it past 5-10 years, right? Because of the damage it literally does to you, right? And the allure especially if someone is hypersexual. The allure is, oh, I can get paid to do this, right? Especially for women, right? Because obviously female beauty, it's something that throughout, time, it's always been looked up to and revered, right? Men like beautiful women. That is a fact. So if a woman can capitalize on her most powerful trait, right? Her most powerful physical trait, a lot of women are doing that. That's why you're seeing OnlyFans is becoming normalized. That's why you're seeing a lot of these things becoming more normal. And the problem, guys, is the dark path it will lead you down. You see, things like porn will lead you down deeper and darker paths, right? You very seldom are you able to just do something, like watch porn and just, casually, right? Some people say that they can, but if they cut it out of their lives, they would see a drastic difference in how they're able to talk to people. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the problems when it comes to like the everyday, guy, even girl, because girls can be addicted to porn too. So the problems is, guys, again, that artificial stimulus. You are hijacking your bodies, your minds, your heart, right? You're hijacking all these things you were meant to be intimate with a person, right? Most people. I know some people are asexual. This video probably doesn't apply to you. But most people are wired to be with someone. What happens is we get that quick fix from porn because we think that the sex is the true intimacy. Sex is only part of it, right? But when you're watching porn, you're getting that artificial stimulus, and what you're telling your body is, I'm getting the highest sexual gratification that I can get, but I'm not having it with a person. Also, I'm not getting any sort of intimacy from this person. I'm not talking to them. I'm not feeling them. I'm not getting to know them. I'm not with them, right? So it ends up happening. This is why a lot of guys have problems talking to women, even socializing in general, is your brain starts to literally, guys have done brain scans, your brain chemicals, everything is off. Your brain will change. And so you start to become needy. That's why a lot of guys who watch porn, they can't talk to women because their brain's telling them one thing. Their brain is just sex, sex, sex. It's hooked on sex, right? It's hooked on porn. But it's overcompensating for the actual intimacy that they want. That's why when you back off of porn for weeks or months, guys, your body is going to readjust. Your brain's going to readjust. You're going to find yourself being able to talk to women much, much easier than before. You're going to view women totally different, right? So you have to realize what's happening with porn. Some of the other problems with it, guys, let's be real here. Some of the problems, physical problems as well, right? You're not going to have as much energy, right? You can actually give yourself erectile dysfunction by watching porn. Let's say you do end up getting married or you have a girlfriend. I'm not an advocate of having, I'm a huge proponent of sex inside of marriage. I don't believe in it outside of marriage, right? I think there's a lot of danger. I think there's a lot of issues with it. That's for another video. But let's say you get married, you're with your wife, and you really, you want to be with her, but the porn, right? Again, it's hijacked your brain. That's what you're used to. If your wife is, for whatever, not in the mood for whatever reason, right? You turn to that, right? And see, one of the things I don't think us guys talk about a lot is, guys, porn, it soothes and it fills something that we have an issue with. So a few things to keep in mind. One, self-love, guys. And I don't mean hippie stuff. I mean genuine self-love. A lot of guys watch porn because they don't love themselves. They don't think that they're worthy enough for a woman. And so they get into the cycle of feeling sorry for themselves, watching porn, and they think that that's going to soothe them. But guys, porn is not the answer, all right? You have to love yourself and see yourself as someone worthy of being with someone else, okay? I made a video on this the other day. There is a woman out there for you. Check out that video. But guys, there is a woman out there for you, okay? Now, what I want to be transparent about here is most of the time you're not going to find what you men consider a high quality woman, what I would consider a high quality woman, if we are addicted to porn, if we are constantly watching porn, if we are hooked on porn, if porn rules our intimate life, right? And this is because we're going to turn away a lot of good women because we're going to be needy, right? Women are going to see that. It's also going to take away a lot of your masculine drive and energy. So you're going to be spent. You're not going to be as masculine as, you're not going to be as confrontational as you need to be. Being confrontational as a man is a good thing, right? If it's for the right reasons. So you have to realize that women they can sense this on a different level. It's just like a woman, right? As men, we look down on women who live a very promiscuous lifestyle, who are very obvious about it, right? Because we don't want to be with them, because we don't want to make them our wives, because we don't want them to cheat on us or have another guy's kids, right? And as guys, we get very jealous. So a whole lot of reasons we don't want to be with the wrong type of woman. So the same way that, we look at those women, that's the same way that a lot of times they look at men who have porn addictions, right? They're putting their needs, they're putting their selfish desires above the reality of things, right? And so as a man, sometimes you have to look in the mirror, sometimes you have to really think back, sometimes you have to really, figure out, okay, are these issues from childhood, right? Did I have a parent or parents who maybe they weren't as connected with me as I wanted them to be? Maybe it wasn't a normal dynamic. Maybe there were some things that are off. I think a lot of guys straight up who are addicted to porn have mommy issues, right? And those can come in a lot of different flavors, so to speak, right? That can portray itself as a mother who is distant. That can portray itself as a mother who is maybe manipulative. That can play out as a mom who is always giving you what you wanted, and so you think that women are just there for your pleasure and entertainment, right? And so you have to realize a lot of this is buried into your psyche. A lot of this is buried into us. Just like normally, right, with women who are more promiscuous, it's because they didn't have a father that could connect with them on the levels that they needed to be connected with. Because if you had a true healthy family dynamic, if you're getting all of your needs met in that familial sense, right, the chances of you growing up and going off the deep end are much, much, much less likely. It's just a fact, right? Because you're going to be looking for certain things. Those needs are going to be met. You're not going to have these weird trauma bonds and these trauma responses and these addictions to, the highs and lows of life, of manipulative people who just want to use you, right? And so for a lot of women, guys, straight up, just like for men, when we watch porn, a lot of times women want, or the reason that they're promiscuous is because they want that intimacy. There's something missing there. And so they think they can only get that through sex because, well, guys are nice to me when I have sex with them. Well, I feel really close to a guy when I have sex with them. So with men, it's pretty similar, right? For men, though, a lot of times we push things away. We don't want to deal with the problem. So instead of getting into a relationship with a woman or trying to find a good woman, we settle for porn, right? Because we think we can control it. There's no intimacy, right? So we don't have to worry about our feelings. We get the sexual gratification that we want, or that we think that we want, right? We think we're getting these things, right? And so you have to be careful with porn, guys. These are the problems, right? Some of the other things as well, when you watch seductive content, right? This is another big one. The issue with porn is it's sort of like a sales funnel, all right? So stay with me here. If you guys have ever seen a website where, okay, let's say you go to someone's Instagram that you're following, like a popular person, they're selling a course, you press on the Instagram profile, you press on the website link, it takes you to the website. It says download this free whatever, and then it says, hey, for $10 you can get this, or for $20 a month you can get this. You press on that. Oh, for $100 a year you can also get this, right? It's a sales funnel. Porn is dangerous because the fact that we've normalized the sexual exploitation and the sexual really deviancy in a lot of ways, right, of people in society. It's everywhere you look. So you have to be careful. That's why I recommend when it comes to porn, don't fight it, flee it. Don't think, oh, I can just watch a little bit longer. Oh, I can just watch a couple seconds. I'll just look up one picture. No, guys, if you see something come up, scroll away from it, get out of it, get away from it, just avoid it. Don't entertain it, right? Because once you give it a foothold it's going to sink its claws into you. It's going to take over. You're going to start to entertain it, and a picture or a quick video is going to turn into a porn binge, right? So you have to realize that porn is very seductive in that sense because it's so easy, it's so easily accessible. But guys, once you realize it, I'm going to flip it over here, all right? I'm going to flip it over to some of the things that you can do to actually get yourself out of it, because we've talked about the problem, but what can you do to actually find some freedom, right? To actually battle this thing, okay? One of the things I would highly recommend, right, is you understand what it is. Okay, so we understand what it is. The next thing I would do is I would highly recommend you look at yourself in the mirror and you be honest with yourself and you actually figure out if you love yourself and accept yourself. Because guys, that is one of the biggest hurdles for a lot of men to overcome. If you do not love yourself or think you are worthy of a woman, you will keep going back to porn. I guarantee it. If you don't think you can talk to women, if you keep putting yourself down, if you keep seeing yourself in a negative light, if you keep thinking you're ugly or you're not rich enough or you don't have what it takes, if you keep thinking this way, you're going to keep going back to porn. If you keep letting all these wacko dating coaches and all this red pill garbage infect your mind, you are going to keep going back to porn, right? So you have to realize you have to love yourself, guys. You have to love yourself. Self-love is important. Think of yourself, guys. You don't have to be full of pride and ego, but you have to look at love yourself like a best friend. What would your best friend do for you? Would you want your best friend to be addicted to porn? Would you let your best friend be addicted to porn if you could do something about it? So treat yourself like a best friend. Love yourself, and then you'll start to attract women into your life. And that's the next thing I'm gonna get into, guys. Once you start socializing, I highly recommend socializing a lot. All right. I think socializing, keeping a busy schedule if you can, very helpful for staying away from porn, because one, you're too busy for it. Two, you really are not going to have the energy for it. And three, you're getting every human needs to be with community, right? I understand there's some like outliers. There's people who are like true hermits and that they think it's truly best for them. Even then, I would say it's good for you to have some sort of, human connection. But having that human connection is going to provide you with a sense of belonging. It's also going to give you that sort of intimate, that platonic, intimate need that you need met. Because a lot of guys, they go from, they want to go from being addicted to porn, not talking to women, not talking to people, to having a wife. And guys, that's a dangerous game to play, because you need to know how people think, how people act. You need to know how the general populace around you really, works out. Because what happens is a lot of times when you are, addicted to porn, trying to get away from it, you are going to be basically going for the first thing that throws itself at you. You're going to be so hooked on the porn. First time a woman throws herself at you, you're going to be like, oh, this is great. This is it. This is all I need. And guys, sad to say, those women are going to be the type that are going to lead you astray. They're going to ruin your life, and you're going to realize it was all a sham and you were going after the wrong things, and that's what got you there. So guys, socializing is a big one, and I'm going to go into that as well. Talking to women specifically. I know some of you guys, maybe you're good at talking to your buddies, to other dudes. When it comes to women, you just can't do it. I've known guys like this, right? You can't do it, right? Stop looking at yourself like you are not worthy of talking about women. This goes back to a couple points ago. You have to truly think that you are worth a woman's time. All right. Women want a man who is confident, who knows what he is about, who knows what he wants out of life, guys. That supersedes any sort of looks maxing, that supersedes any sort of game, that supersedes anything. Confidence, knowing what you want out of life and going for what you want, that's what works. I've had guys on some of my videos when I was talking, because I do talk about relationship advice. I think that's why a lot of you guys are here as well. I've had people comment on my videos saying, oh, well, it's easy for you to say because of this or that, because you're blessed this way or that way. Guys, if you don't think I don't have my insecurities, if you don't think that I have mental battles and things like self-image issues that I have to get over, guys, I have my own stuff to worry about, okay? I have things that I'm like, man, I really wish I could change that. I really wish I could do something about that, right? Or I wish this was different. I wish that, guys, trust me, okay? But hey, it is what it is, right? You have to accept yourself for who you are. Who is truly going to accept you for you unless you accept you for you first? Nobody. Nobody's going to do it, man. You have to love yourself, man. I'm telling you. And this will get rid of a lot of the urge, man, because again, porn gives you that false escape, that false sense of security, belonging, being connected. But guys, a lot of people just aren't connected to themselves. All right? You don't have to have good genetics. You don't have to have all this crap, guys. I've seen troglodytes. I've seen ogres with women who are completely out of their league, women who do everything they can for these men, women who look up to these men, who are submissive to them, who love them, who cherish them, who want to be in their life, because these men know what they're about. These men have a plan, they have a mission, they know who they are content with who they are, they don't care what anybody thinks about them. They're a man on a mission with a purpose, right? They have that masculine energy that everybody's talking about these days, right? They know who they are as a man. So stop comparing yourself, man. Comparison is the thief of joy. You keep comparing yourself, man, you're always going to be let down. Guarantee it. So start talking to women. Start talking to women platonically, guys. Stop thinking when you talk to a woman that you got to be her girlfriend, or she's got to be your girlfriend. You got to be your boyfriend. You guys have got to go out on a date. You guys have got to get to know each other. You guys have got to be intimate. Guys, that's going to scare women off, because women don't want a guy who needs a relationship, who needs somebody else. They want a man who's content in their own skin. Guys, here's a secret. Women want to be a part of your world. They don't want you to make them your world. They want to join you along for the ride. They want to see that you're living a cool life, that you're confident in who you are, that you are a man on his mission. They want to be part of that. All right? So talk to women platonically, guys. Just get to know them, right? Casually flirt, right? You don't have to be like weird about it. Just casually flirt. Be nice. A lot of guys these days are saying, don't be nice. Don't be nice. Don't be nice. She's going to think you're needy. Don't be. Guys, you have to be a nice person. Don't be try not to cuss so much. Don't be an asshole just for the sake of being an asshole. You're going to push just as many women away as being overly nice. Just stop thinking about it so much. Just be you. Just talk to them like a person. And the funny thing is, guys, when you start to do this, you're going to have more social interactions with women. Women will gravitate towards you. See, I think one of the problems is with all this red pill garbage and all this dating advice that's just complete garbage out there these days. Guys think that if they're nice, they're gonna turn women away. So they have to be a complete jerk. Guys, that only works on one type of woman. That works on broken women who gravitate towards like messed up dudes who manipulate them, right? You have to be a nice dude every now and again, right? You have to be the dude who's going to open the door for her. You have to be the dude who's going to pay her a compliment, right? You have to be the dude that's just going to be nice for no reason, or who's going to step up to the plate and be a man and do what needs to be done. But you also need to be a masculine man. You can't let people walk on you. You can't just live through your feelings and your impulses. You can't just... you can't be a wuss, right? See, a lot of guys, they go from one extreme to the other, and they're like, oh, this doesn't work, so I'll try this extreme. Guys, you got to have a balance. You got to just be a good person. It's okay to push buttons. A lot of women, they're used to being treated like a princess, so they love it when you're able to crack jokes at them, or just kind of, like treat them like another dude, right? Just kind of like poke some fun at them. Just have a good time. If a woman's going to get all upset that you're not bowing down to her and you're not treating her like a princess, X her off the list, guys. That's not someone you want to be with if they're going to be that uptight about stuff, right? So, guys, once you start doing these things are going to be solutions for you getting out of the porn. Because once you start doing these things, you're not going to want to watch porn. Because you're going to have women you're talking to in your life. You're going to have that social connection, right? You're going to have all these things that you want. And you're going to start realizing what a healthy human dynamic looks like, right? Now, obviously, you're going to have to stay away from porn because, it's super easy to access. It's super easy to get a hold of, right? I get it. But You have to replace it with something. A lot of guys are like, okay, I'm just going to stop watching porn, but I'm going to stay holed up in my house all day. I'm not going to talk to people. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. It doesn't work, guys. You got to replace it with something because you have that need. The reason you're watching porn is because you're trying to cover something up. That's why you got to get real with yourself. That's why you got to get out there. You got to connect, right? So the self-image thing's a big one, guys. That's why I think social media is pretty dangerous these days, because it's giving people a lot of false realities. It's giving people false narratives, right? It's all to keep you hooked on fear, second guessing, pointing the finger, feeling sorry for yourself, all this crap, right? Get out there, get talking to people. Guys, I promise your porn addiction, you're really not even gonna think about it. And see, what you need to also do is, if you're truly looking for a good woman, right? If you're looking for a woman to be with, a wife, guys, talk to women, text them, date them, go out with them, right? Get to know them on a deeper level. This is also going to help because you're, again, going to see women for who they are, that they're people, right? They want a connection too. Doesn't mean you have to marry every girl that you go on a date with. Doesn't mean you have to have a girlfriend, within a month or so, right? But you're a man who knows what he wants, and ultimately that isn't something fake, which is porn. It isn't something false, damaging, which is porn, right? That's a real relationship with a real good woman who knows her self-value and her self-worth, who loves herself, who wants to be with a masculine man who loves himself, who's willing to stand up for himself, right? So guys, I hope this gives you something to think about. I hope this gives you some encouragement, some hope. Hope this helps out a lot of guys. I know you were talking about it. I know I've had several comments. So if you guys need anything from me, you want to share experiences or have other questions, let me know below. But I'll see y'all at the next one.